Well, this is the dry dock. This is the biggest dry dock. It's the widest part of the river. The ships were launched directly across there at an angle because that was the biggest stretch of water, and they were huge. Kind of reached from one side to the other almost. There were a lot of ships being built at that time. They were building those at a rate of one a year. Those enormous ships, and at that period in the 70s, I think there were must have been over 11,000 people employed by Swan Hunters. The ship itself started life here. The keel was laid there, and then the thing just grew. Its sides grew and the prow grew to tower above the houses. Incredible imagery. Murray and I, my colleague Murray, who was a kind of founder member of Amber, both came from pretty similar backgrounds, so we had a real interest in industrial environments. I came from Leeds and he came from Stoke, so there's something about those heavy industry which we found fascinating, and in a way it's a kind of attempt to reconnect with our past to some degree. We were very keen to record things. That was the whole big impetus behind Amber. Very keen to photograph and film everything that was around without any. And in a sense, that's the way Amber's continued. Most projects start out of some degree of inquiry into something or curiosity about something, and filming's a very good way in. It was a case of looking around and just seeing what was going on, and seeing a ship being built at the end of the street in this area here. It was visually staggering. I mean, both of us came from art school backgrounds and found all that kind of industrial stuff much more interesting than what passed a sculpture. Much more exciting, much more dynamic, and it was just a desire to get in and have a look and see what was going on. It was about people as well. It's a film about people. I mean, one of the key images in the film, which is pointed out, I'm not sure we were even aware of it at the time, but when we went to show it in Germany, soon after it was finished, how the audience there cottoned on to the idea of here were the workers on the outside who had built this ship on one side of the wall, and on the inside were the knobs, the royalty who were there just for the launch ceremony. And there's that kind of separation of the owners and the wealth and the people who had actually made the thing. So this thing was being built here. We knew that a launch was coming up, and I think Murray had been doing some teaching at the local poly, and he was paid not in cash but in film stock, and we got, I think, 10 rows, 100-foot rows of Kodachrome reversal stock, and we had a Bolex wind-up camera which had a maximum run of 20 seconds, I think, which explains a lot of the length of the shot in the film. And we thought, well, it'd be a really good idea if we could just come down and just do a few shots of the yard before the launch, and then maybe do the launch itself. That's basically it. We came down with the camera, wandered around, got amazing access, not like it is today. Went to the office and said, do you think we could get in and have a look around? Yeah, okay, here's a hard hat, don't fall over anything, and help yourself. The film really consists of two ships. There are two ships being launched there. One is the World Unicorn and one is the Lion. I think the World Unicorn was first in 1973 and the Lion was second in 1974. Amazing speed that they were built, these ships, by the way. So we filmed the launch and a bit of work around the construction of the ship as well in 1974. So the film was actually finished in 74. All the sound was completely constructed. The whole soundtrack was constructed after the event. Lots of it was done in the garden at Amber's studio with tin cans and slowing down, you know, rewind arms and reels and things like that. It was all a completely artificial soundtrack. Apart from the actual shot of the launch itself, I think we shot that in. That was a sync shot. The champagne bottle hitting the bows, and interesting enough, the guy who was the dubbing mixer at CFS used it for many years as a training project. Because it's quite a very complex soundtrack. I think it's frightening the way that, I mean, we live in a heritage culture. I mean, we're standing here on a Roman fort, but the entire industrial heritage has been obliterated. I mean, the cranes that were on this riverbank here, which were used to build, you know, hundreds of ships, within a year of or 2 years of the shipyard closing, had been broken up and shipped off to India to start a new life there. And it's true of all the industrial areas. Look at the mining industry. It's incredible how quickly any remnant of industry was obliterated off the landscape. It's quite frightening, really. It's almost like it's willful. There's a desperate urgency to wipe this, you know, past off the map.